Hello beautiful people, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to get into one of our favorite fiend decks of all time. No, it's not Yugioh. No, it's not Plunder Patrol, it's DDD. And that's why I got these blue light glasses on, because it makes me look like a little bit more big brained, which you need to be to play this deck. So in this video, we're going to go over the updated profile for November 2024. And then we are also going to talk about lines into the Mulcharmys cards, because since I've released the latest update of this deck, which was about 5 months ago, I believe, we've gotten the new Mulcharmys. And with the new Mulcharmys comes challenge for this deck, of course, because the damn thing summons from the extra deck like 10 times to do the combo. So we obviously can't do that into a Fubulos or else we're going to lose. So I'm going to show you what you do if you get hit by Fubulos and how to put up some interruptions without committing too much into the board. I'm also going to talk about Perulia and talk about how to minimize summoning from hand so that we can still put up interruptions, get into our main combo, and how to start that off without summoning from hand too many times. Alright, so we're going to start with the list and then we'll get into the combos. If you don't know the full DDD combos, I'm going to leave a link in the description below to a DDD combo guide that I put out a couple months ago, because it's still relevant if you were not getting hit by the Mulcharmys. But if we are going to hit by the Mulcharmys, watch the combos in this video. Alright, so let's go through the list, the updated list for DDDs. So we're going to start off with our our usual like DDD lineup, honestly. It's going to be a pretty similar deck to what it used to be. So we have 3 Kepler, 3 Copernicus. For those that don't know, I'll give a brief intro to each card, but you know, read them. They're pendulum cards. They have so much text on them, so I'm only going to give you a brief summary. Kepler searches your continuous spells. Copernicus foolishes a DD monster from your deck to the grave. So both of these are paths to 1-card combos, or to start your combos, and you want to open one of these cards at all times. DD Griffin does everything for your deck. You know, it has like a whole bunch of effects depending on where it's specialed from, whether it's Pendulum Summon, special from grave, special from hand. It does a whole bunch of stuff, so make sure you read this card. The whole deck revolves around Griffin. Then the last 3 of is going to be Swirl Slime, so this one is going to allow you to fusion summon from hand, then also special summon from hand while it's in the graveyard. It's just a really nice extender, really good combo piece, so we definitely want to be opening that and playing 3. We're on 2 Orthros. Level 4 DDs are very important in this deck, so we're going to play 2 Orthros, because if we draw one, sometimes we need to scale the other one with Gilgamesh, so we definitely want to have at least 2 in there. Thomas, which is really good. It adds back from your extra deck to your hand, which comes up in a lot of combos. Ragnarok, this one special summons from graveyard while it's in the scale, so that one's really important for combos. We have Go, DDD Divine, 0, King Rage. This one is an anti-hand trap card, which is pretty nice. So I have a whole video on how to summon this guy out and stop your opponent from using hand traps. Check that out in the description below as well. I have 2 DDD videos in the last 6 months. So if you want to see how to use this card, check out that other video after this one. And then we have DD Lamia and DD Necro Slime. These guys are the graveyard tools. We're going to want to foolish these with the Copernicus, because Necro Slime lets you fusion summon and Lamia gets to summon itself out, so definitely important. And then Lamia is also important for our anti-Mulcharmy combos, so we're going to look at those as well. Okay, a couple cards that I've decided not to play that you may be familiar with. Cerberus is part of the 1-card combo with Kepler. I don't think it comes up enough, and I don't want to brick on this card, so I'm not playing it. Vice Typhon, same thing. Yeah, if you go full combo without getting hand trapped, Vice Typhon might come up, but when does that ever happen? So we're not going to play it. And then, yeah, that's about it that we might see played. You might be familiar with this card because it was played in Unchained a year ago, but we're not playing the Vice King Requiem either. Okay, that's it for the DD monsters. Now we can get into some of the spells. So 3 Dark Contract with the Gate. This one's a continuous spell that lets you add a DD from your deck to your hand every turn. This one is Dark Contract with the Swamp King. This one is just a fusion summon by banishing stuff from your grave every turn. And then we have the field spell Dark Contract with Patent License. This one is like kind of a floodgatey effect. You know, your opponent can only link summon once and exceed summon once per turn and synchro summon once per turn for whatever types you have on the board. So if your opponent's playing a fusion deck, you want to set up a fusion monster on your field and activate this, and they can only fusion summon once. It's kind of nice. But its other effect is when it gets sent to the graveyard, it can add something from the graveyard back to your hand, so that's kind of nice. DDD Headhunt, this is one of our Ed board pieces. This is a trap that's basically lets you steal one of your opponent's monsters for 2 turns, so that's pretty strong. Now we have some of our consistency cards, and to start we're playing 3 Nightmare Throne. This one searches a 0/0 Fiend. All of your starters are 0/0 Fiends. We have Kepler, we have Copernicus, we have, is Swirl Slime a 0/0? No, it's not. We just have these 2, and then we have Go Zero King Rage. So we always want to have a starter, or if we get 2 starters, we can use them both. So we always want to be searching that. And then if we already have these, we can search Zero King Rage and combo off with that. So that's pretty important. And it's so important that we're also playing Terraforming and Set Rotation. Set Rotation can set you the Nightmare Throne and set the patent license to your opponent's field, so that's kind of nice. And if you set rotation, they are turned off of Infinite Impermanence, which is also nice, as well as the Charmies, but they would probably chain the Charmy. But yeah, we're also playing 2 copies of Piri Race Map for the same reason. Like, we really need to see one of our 6 starters, so we're playing 6 starters plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more ways to get them. So we have essentially 13 starters in the deck. Oh, plus 3 more. So 16 starters. So we really want to see them. Yeah, I'm on the fence about this card. I don't like paying half my life points, especially when all of my other cards also pay life points. It's kind of yikes. But, you know, once you get hit with not having a starter, that's not so good. So, I don't know. It's up to you if you want to play this card. Maybe it's cuttable. Maybe it's consistent enough. But we're going to start with that. And then the rest is going to be non-engine. We have 1 Called by the Grave. We have 3 Dominus Impulse. Yes, this card is definitely playable in this deck because all of your monsters are dark. And then in the extra deck, we have Fires. And we have Water, which is the 3 types that we can actually play with Impulse. So we have no conflictions, no conflicting cards, and there's no reason not to play this card. It's a super nice boost to the deck. 3 Imperm, and then I'm also on 3 Perulia in the main deck just because of the attribute with Impulse, and then 3 Ash Blossom. If you're on a budget and don't want to buy Impulse or Perulia, that's totally okay. Just swap it out for 3 Valor, 3 Ghost Ogre, and I think we're going to be in a similar spot, but I think these are kind of the best ones. So that's the main deck. It's 45 cards, and that's why I'm playing so many starter cards, is because I want to dilute my kind of one-of bricks and just have a lot of starters and a lot of non-engine while the bricks are diluted. So let's go ahead and start with that as the main deck. The extra deck now is going to be fairly similar to what it's always been. 3 Gilgamesh always. It's like what your deck revolves around extra deck wise. Then we have 2 Flame King Genghis for the combo to summon out the Wave High King Caesar. 1 High King Genghis, and then 1 rank 4, 1 rank 5, 1 rank 6. And then 2 of the rank 10 that can be put on top of any DDD. 1 Siegfried in the Synchro for the Synchro monster. And then for the last 3 cards, I'm playing 1 SP, 1 Dark, and 1 Access Code. I think these guys are some of your best bets for going, or for turn 3 to try to push for game or like get enough damage on board, because you can put any 2 Darks on board, summon out the Dark. Your opponent might have an IP or an SP in their graveyard, and then you can summon out the Access Code and hopefully push for game there. Unfortunately, Access Code only has 1 attribute to pop, but hopefully that's enough. Like, pop 1 card and then swing for 4,300 is pretty good, so that's not too bad. I don't know, like, this deck, because it locks you into DD so easily, non-DD cards are kind of whatever. You could play Zeus, you could play Typhon, you could play whatever, but I think I would give these 3 a go as your non-engine choices, because honestly, like, your turn 1 you're trying to put up as big a board as you can, and then turn 3 you're trying to finish the game. So I think that's the best package to do it with, and yeah. Okay, that wraps up the deck list. Now let's get to the important stuff. How do we play this deck into the Charmies? Okay, let's talk about Perulia first. because it's not that bad. If we look at normal DDD combos, typically all of them only summon from hand twice. It's your normal summon, and then it's your Griffin summon. You're never usually pendulum summoning from hand, very rarely. You're very rarely actually using this DDD Swirl Slime effect to summon from hand. That's only if you really want to go into the DDD or the Go DDD Rage combos. So if you get hit with Perulia, you're just gonna have to face it that you're not gonna be able to summon out that Rage, unless you want to give your opponent an extra draw, which maybe is important. But yeah. Basically, Perulia is just a 1 summon from hand, or 2 summons from hand. But we can talk about a combo where we only summon from hand once to get into our mainline combo. Unfortunately, this is a 3-card combo, but some of the pieces are searchable. So for this combo, we're going to need Copernicus, we're going to need the Griffin, and then we are going to need a contract like this. Alternatively, we can go with the Swirl Slime here. Whichever one, or if we already have one of these pieces, we can contract for whatever we're missing. And then, even though it's a 3-card combo, don't forget that Copernicus is also searchable by Perimap and Nightmare Throne, so it's a fairly consistent 3-card combo, but it's just a way to get into full combo with only giving 1 Perulia draw instead of 2. Which could be important, to actually getting your stuff to go through. But ideally, all of your combos through Mulcharmys are going to revolve around Lamia, because Lamia is a way to get another body out on board by summoning from the graveyard, and that's going to be pretty important. So that's why we're going to need Copernicus as our starter here. If we start with Kepler, it's not going to be so good, not going to be so easy to get into Gilgamesh, but also having level 4s in the extra deck to pendulum summon, it's going to be a pain in the butt. So we kind of have to start with Copernicus for this combo. So let's go ahead and look at Copernicus plus Griffin here. We're going to normal summon Cope, we're going to activate it and send the Lamia to the graveyard. And now we're going to use our Lamia effect, pitching our Griffin from our hand to summon the Lamia out. Now we can go ahead and that's 1 Perulia draw only from the Copernicus summon. Now we can go ahead and pendulum summon, link summon rather, into Gilgamesh, and now we have to place scales. And for these scales, we're gonna want to go for the Ragnarok, because we're gonna have to summon this Griffin back out. And then we're gonna also go for a low scale. We need something scale 1, 2, or 3, and I typically like to go Orthros when we need one of those, so we're going to go ahead and scale the Orthros. Now we can pendulum summon once, just the Copernicus here, and now that a monster has been summoned, we can use Ragnarok to summon back out our Griffin here. Okay, and now Griffin can activate and we can search our Headhunt right off the bat. And then from here we have pretty full access to full combo, so we can go ahead and set the Headhunt. I'll leave it face up just so we can see it. And now we can go ahead and overlay into our rank 4, and then we're off to the races, because all of the DDD combos start with getting into this rank 4 and then going from there. I'm going to stop here in this video to try to keep it shorter. If you want to see what to do from here, check out the DDD combo video in the description below that I posted a couple months ago. Everything revolves around getting to your rank 4, and then I show you what to do once you get here. But yeah, this is the combo into Perulia with just 1 draw. All you need is to open Copernicus plus Griffin. Normally, in our normal combo, we would normal summon Copernicus and then special summon a Griffin. We don't want to give them that extra summon, so we're going to go with the Lamia route to get the Griffin into rotation later on instead. Okay, that was the easy one. That's just Perulia. Now let's talk about Fuvalos, because that one is much bigger problem. Because if you guys know full DDD combo, you know that it just summons from extra deck like 10 times. And don't forget that pendulum summoning from the extra deck also gives a Fuvalos draw. So that's no good. Okay, so we have to know what to do into a Fuvalos and kind of know which combos can actually play into it and which ones cannot. So let's go ahead and talk about it. And we're going to start from a high level first. Let's talk about what the total possible disruptions are that can be set up on a DDD board. So one disruption is Deus King Machinex, one disruption is DDD Wave High King Caesar, One disruption is Curse King Siegfried, and then we have the DDD Headhunt. If we're playing into Fulos, this one is going to be out, because this one is just overlaid onto 2 other fusion monsters. That's just 3 draws for this. It's not going to be worth it, okay? So we're going to put that Wave High King Caesar away. Once you see Fulos, get the Wave High King Caesar out of your mind and just focus on these guys. Let's see how many of these we can set up without summoning from extra deck too much. I'll show you guys the combos that are possible. Okay, so to start off our main combos, this is not Perulia anymore, this is Fulos, but into the Fulos line, we have a couple options. First of all, we pretty much always need access to a contract card, because if we want to summon out this Mulcharmys and have it actually do something, we need a contract card on our field to pop. So it's going to be important that we have access to a contract. So Kepler plus Griffin is going to be full combo, or not full combo. It's going to be combo into Fulos. We also have contract first plus Griffin. That's also combo through Fulos. Now our next option for a 2-card combo into Fulos is Copernicus plus contract. Okay, this will also get us there. And then we also have Copernicus plus Griffin is not actually combo, because we won't ever get access to a contract card, or we'll have to choose between a contract card and DDD Headhunt, which is not ideal. So yeah, this one is not combo, but this pair is. And then in addition to all of these 2-card combos, if we have Orthros in hand or Orthros access, that will get us Siegfried on top for 1 more draw. Okay, so it's up to you if you want to give that draw in exchange for the spell trap negate. I think it would be worth it, but yeah. So let's go ahead and go through these combo lines, and I'm sure there are other combo lines, but we're going to talk about like what to look for when making a Fulos combo, because there's so many like one-ofs in this deck where if you have them, the combo might be a little bit different. But let's just talk about these 3 combos generally first. Okay, so let's start with Kepler Griffin, because this one's pretty common, and of course Kepler is searchable by like 8 cards in your deck, and then Griffin, you just have to open it in this case. So for Kepler Griffin, we're going to go ahead and normal summon our Kepler. I'm going to assume we're already Fulos before we get to main phase, because they want to play around talents. But even if not, like it's not going to be too much different. We're going to go with Kepler. We're going to search contract with the gate. We're going to activate contract with the gate here. And if we're already Fulos, we're just going to search for a Lamia here. Now we can go Lamia effect to summon itself by discarding the Griffin. It's important to do that because to get to the Headhunt, we need to get this Griffin into the graveyard and summon it back. So the only ways to get this into the graveyard are Lamia or Copernicus, because we can't afford to make a rank 4 Xyz and then detach it to get it there, because that will give too many Fulos draws. So we have to go through the Lamia line. So yeah, we're going to go ahead, Lamia, pitch the Griffin to summon itself. Now we're going to go ahead and link. This Lamia is banished, Griffin is in the graveyard, and Kepler goes to the extra deck. We're going to link, we're going to give our opponent 1 draw here off the Gilgamesh, which is worth it because Gilgamesh gets us a lot of value. Let's go ahead and activate that Gilgamesh to place our scales. 1 scale is certainly going to be Ragnarok here, very important. And then the other scale I think is going to be Thomas, or we could go for a Orthros here. Not exactly sure which way I want to go, but I think we're going to go Thomas here for follow-up. So right off the bat, we can Thomas add back Kepler for follow-up. Okay, so we have Kepler in hand. Now we're just going to straight up overlay on top of the Gilgamesh. Don't put it in the Anima Zone. We're going to overlay straight up for Mulcharmys here. And now that we have summoned a DD monster, Ragnarok will trigger, summoning out the Griffin. And now Griffin effect will search us our Headhunt. And voila, that's going to be our end board into Fulos. Our opponent drew 2 times. In exchange, we have Mulcharmys 2 effects to steal, and then we have Headhunt on top of that to steal a 3rd monster. So we literally can take 3 of their monsters in one go. In exchange, they have 2 draws, and then we have a Kepler in hand plus 3 other cards, okay, into Fulos. So that's going to be combo number 1. Also, don't forget that, as I mentioned, if we have the Orthros in hand, when we take damage from Ragnarok or we take damage from the Gilgamesh effect, Orthros lets you special summon from your hand if you take damage, so we can have special that at any time. And now to finish off the combo, we could just synchro summon here into a Siegfried, so we could give our opponent a 3rd draw, and in exchange we have a monster or a spell trap negate plus 3 steals. Okay, so I think that might be worth it if we have the Orthros in our hand for some reason. Okay, so that's going to be combo number 1 into Fuelos. Now let's go ahead with what happens if we have Copernicus plus the Gate. Or actually, no, we're going to go Gate plus Griffin this time. This time, if we have Gate plus Griffin, we're going to start with the Gate, and then we're going to activate that, and we're going to search us our Copernicus, and then it's going to look a lot like what we just did. We're going to add the Copernicus here, and now we're going to normal summon the Copernicus, and then get into none other than the Lamia once again, and it's going to look just like what we just did. We're going to Lamia summon itself back out from grave by pitching the Griffin. Now we're going to go ahead and link into our Gilgamesh again. Gilgamesh is going to place the scales. Copernicus is in our extra. We're going to place the scales. We can place the exact same scales. We can go Ragnarok plus Thomas here. Thomas, add back the Copernicus for follow-up. Gilgamesh, we're going to just overlay the Machinex on top of that. Ragnarok will activate, summoning back the Griffin from the graveyard. Griffin will activate, searching the Headhunt. And then once again, if we had the Orthros at any time, we're going to summon that out, make the Siegfried 2. Okay? So that's once again just 2 draws into Fuelos with 3 steals plus follow-up plus 3 cards in hand. Okay, and now let's get into our last combo, which was Copernicus plus Contract. And that's going to be the exact same as Contract plus Griffin. It's just Contract is now going to search the Griffin. We're going to search the Griffin with the Contract. We're going to normal summon the Cope. We're going to send the Lamia. We're in the exact same situation. There's other like weird routes that we could do this. Like if we open Ragnarok in our hand, then we could potentially like do some other stuff. If we open Ragnarok plus like, I don't know, Contract plus Swirl Slime, like it's all the same stuff kind of. It's still going to be 2 draws into Fuelos. But yeah, if we open the Ragnarok, we obviously need to scale it. I would just do the same combo, get into the Ragnarok or the Gilgamesh here, and then for your scales, we're gonna scale an Orthros and a Thomas. And then we can just pop both with Orthros and then just scale your Ragnarok from hand or something like that. So if you open the Ragnarok, if you open your brick that you normally need to set from deck, you can just place scales, clear them with Orthros, and then place the Ragnarok straight from hand if you end up opening that kind of thing. Okay, so those are 3 combos into Fuelos where you can summon out the Machinex plus the Headhunt, and then that will give you your opponent 2 draws, and then if you also have the Orthros, we can summon out the Siegfried as well with a 3rd draw. So that's pretty good disruption into Fuelos. This deck is not completely dead because of the Charmies. Don't be fooled. I know full combo is like 10 extra deck summons, but this combo with just 3 is only 3 extra deck summons. So literally to get to Wave High King Caesar, you have to summon from extra deck like 7 times. Okay, so maybe just focus on this kind of combo here. Like it's a little bit slower. And also, yeah, it does play into Nibiru, unfortunately, now that I think about it. But that's okay. Like, not a lot of people are playing Nib right now. But anyway, that's going to wrap up the DDD combo guide for comboing into the Charmies. If you want to see the full combo guide, like if you're not getting Charmied, check out the link in the description. With that, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Hope you enjoy. Let me know in the comments what you want to see next for DDD content. We'll see you soon.